So the original inspiration for it was Heart of Darkness and Apocalypse Now, and we've kind of gone our own direction since then. But what we wanted to do was follow this squad of these Delta Force operators who are going into, the game takes place in Dubai, but it's a near future Dubai where it's been destroyed by sandstorms. And there's this legendary army colonel who has defied his orders to leave the place and try to evacuate, and then hasn't been heard from. And they finally pick up a radio transmission from him, so they send in the squad to rescue him. And then they're just going in and they're trying to take care of that, and some crazy stuff happens along the way, and you get to kind of watch them fall apart as they go through all these terrible situations. Because we wanted to have this kind of theme of these people starting out very clean and very professional, and then decaying throughout the game, we thought that was like a great contrast with the city as well, that you have this very pristine, beautiful city, and then we wiped it out with sandstorms, so it sort of reflects the same sort of journey the characters go on. I mean, we have this story where we really wanted to look at kind of the other side of war. We wanted to look at the darker side and the really difficult decisions that people have to make. And then, more than anything, how that changes people. So, you have this squad that starts out very professional and very, not clean cut necessarily, but, they're business-like. They're going in, they're going to take care of things. It's kind of the standard military guys at the beginning of the game. And then as things goes on, there's some decisions you make that have some pretty disastrous consequences. And it starts taking its toll on them psychologically, and they really start to fall apart, and the group itself starts having some difficulty staying together. In terms of weaponry, we wanted to have a mix of old favorites, so you have things like, the M4, you have the AK-47. We have a couple more extreme weapons, I guess. Like we have the AA-12 fully automatic shotgun, which has been in a few games before, but in our version we use the explosive rounds, so you'll just chew through things and devastate things, and then we also wanted to just grab a few other weapons that we hadn't seen in other games before. There's also, just because the city is so vertical, there's a lot of verticality in our gameplay, and for instance in Mission 4, which you see a lot of that, where you're going down to this skyscraper lobby basically, and it really influences how you go through the level and the angles that you kind of have to be aware of. Well, what we wanted to do was to have a squad that was accessible but pretty powerful. So instead of having it really focused on, okay, this is extremely tactical and you set up over here while I go around this way. I mean, they're Delta Force operators, they're smart guys, they know what they're doing. So we wanted to give people the option also to kind of change the game according to their play style. So if you want to, you can kind of let them do their own thing and still have a good time and great. But if you want to be a little bit more effective, and especially on the harder difficulty modes, you have a few options, and we wanted to make the controls as simple as possible. So, at any time you can give an attack command, but we also have some contextual things in there as well that you can do with them. Probably the most exciting thing about this game to me is really seeing just this dark narrative, and I think we've done a lot of really cool things with that. And I mean, even systemically, like one thing we do that I've never seen in a game before is we generically change the voices as you kind of go throughout the game. So so there's obviously, as the script goes on, like different, they'll behave different later in the game. But even just something as simple as like when you throw a grenade, like the way the guy says "grenade out" at the beginning, by the end of the game, you can hear it in his voice that he's more ragged and he's more torn up and he's been through things, and the things that he says and how he says them all change. Yeah, so we really wanted to hit all the little details. It's been a long time, but unfortunately sometimes great games take a long time to make, so hopefully we can meet your expectations and it'll be awesome.